Dr. Brodie here with you once again from Human Vortex Training here in the Human Vortex Training outdoor studio, aka my porch. We are inside today. It's about 9 degrees outside and pissing rain, 9 degrees Celsius, and pissing rain. So what that means is we will usually be outside, but today we're breaking rule number 9, the Velominati. If you're not familiar with that, check out the link below. We're breaking rule number 9 because the wind gusts have actually gotten pretty dangerous. So we're talking about 35, 40 miles per hour wind gust. So today's video is about what are some considerations that you need to take before you jump on the trainer. So the first thing, if you haven't watched the video about how to set up your trainer like a pro, check that out, or you can watch the shortcut video here today. The first thing that we want to make sure we want to have, our trainer should be set up properly. So our front wheel should be up just a little bit. We shouldn't have the wheel on the floor. That's going to drop us down too low. So if you're on your trainer and you don't have a front wheel block, that could be why your shoulders or your neck are bothering you, is because you're at a slight downward angle. The second thing is to make sure we have a solid floor or a rubber mat underneath us, as we have here, to catch sweat and also to make sure the bike doesn't slide. The third thing, and this is really important, we want a big ass fan. We really want to make sure we have a giant fan that's going to move a lot of air. So if you don't have one, go out and purchase one during the winter. They're really cheap at Home Depot or Lowe's. You can get them very cheap. They're on sale. This is about a 2.5-foot fan, and the one in the back is a smaller one. I used to have a bigger one, but now that we're out on the porch, I have a window here, a window back here, and actually the sliding window here that I can open a little bit if I want to be able to get more natural airflow through. But it's really important that we have 2 big fans, or at very least one. But you'll notice it's not set up right in front of me. The reason is that it's at a 45-degree angle, so it can actually move the air across my body in a way. If it's sitting right in front of me, the air behind me is going to get trapped and stay warm, and that can cause something called cardiac drift. So if you're training with heart rate primarily, that can actually lead to a number of issues where your base heart rate number is going to go up because the air around you is staying humid and hot, and that causes the heart to work harder, and that can also affect your power numbers if you're training with power, because the air isn't moving away from you and you're not cooling off frequently or consistently or at all, really. Now the thing is I usually don't wear a jersey on the trainer, but I didn't want to be like one of those bros out on YouTube, so we have a trainer on. It's also nice for the mic so you guys can hear me over the wind and rain. But usually when you're on the trainer, no jersey. The reason is it's going to keep the sweat on you, unless you don't have a mat, in which case go for it. But usually we want to ride without a jersey because that's going to help more air move away from you and keep you nice and dry and cool, which is really important. So you're not really going to be dry. You'll notice I have my sweatbands. This is going to help me from slipping off of the handlebars, and I usually also have one around my head, but in earlier takes it just kind of looked kind of funny. But you can also wear caps, a cycling cap, but usually I'm not a big fan of caps because it keeps the hot air on your head. The second or third consideration we want to have, number 1, is to have the bike set up properly with that front wheel up or level. The second are the fans and the windows. The third is going to be having a bike thong, as this is called. Why is it called a bike thong? Well, it kind of looks like a thong. What this is it keeps the sweat from getting into the top of the stem and into the screws. And this is something that you don't think about until you really need it. Really important to keep the sweat off the bike, off the screws. It allows them to not be corroded. It keeps them moving properly, as well as it keeps the bike a little bit cleaner. So it kind of tapers up and out to catch more of the sweat as I'm leaning here. We also have the head unit here for the tacks, which is not attached because today we are actually using TrainerRoad or Zwift more frequently. So you want to make sure next to you, this is the 4th thing, make sure you have your phone, your computer next to you, your favorite website, I assume, as well as extra tabs for salt or Nuun if you need, extra gel or something to eat, and an extra water bottle. Now, the other thing we want to have here on the side is a towel, because this is going to be really useful in wiping yourself off. We have our nice truck towel. No, I'm not getting paid to do this, but who cares? Kind of nice to have another brand in there, right? So we want to have all this stuff close to us. Make sure you guys are choosing a chair that is high enough that you can reach it. If it's too low, you have to stop to reach it. Here, I can be in the middle of an effort and still reach down, grab my goo. If I'm on Zwift, I can kind of see where I am if I don't have it set up in front of me. What this does is it makes it so that you're actually able to stay on the trainer longer without interruption. Now, the one thing that I will say is a lot of us are going to be on with our phone, and the thing is we want to make sure that our phone is on silent. So you see there's a phone call, it's from my dad, believe it or not. So we wanna make sure that our phone is on silent, because when we're on our trainer, we really wanna focus on our training. We don't wanna get in the habit of breaking focus and losing our concentration, and that's part of our training. Now that being said, another consideration that a lot of people don't make is we're going to reduce our ride time by about 20%. If you have a 65 or 70 minute ride or 75-minute ride, maybe an hour and a half, you don't have to reduce the ride time. But anything over 2 hours, we want to cut back about 20%. Why is this important? When you're on the trainer, you're consistently pedaling. It is not like outside where you coast a little bit, you stop, you're descending. Even if you're on Zwift or TrainerRoad, you're still having to pedal the whole time. So you're not pedaling at any point in time. So I've actually heard a rule that somebody said now that they reduce the ride time by 30%. For me personally, that's a little bit too much, but 20% is the minimum that I will reduce, unless someone is doing Ironman, in which case, my Ironman athletes, we usually reduce it by about 15%, unless they're going over 4 hours. If it's a 5.5 hour scheduled ride, we'll go 4 hours and 30 minutes, maybe 4 hours, 15 minutes, and that's because of the mental limits. There are stories of people who are triathletes staying out on the trainer for hours on end, but you don't really need to do that. You can get the work done in a shorter amount of time. So that is your shortcut for considerations for indoor training. Remember, train smarter, not harder. If you're looking for a structured training plan to pick up, to use with Zwift or TrainerRoad or any other app or smart trainer, check out my Training Peaks coaching plan page. You'll find a number of coaching plans, a number of training plans that have been proven by athletes from around the world for a variety of different goals. And until next time, remember, train smarter, not harder, and it is all about you and your workout. I'll see you guys later. Got a big climb coming up.